And looking back now, that was the best decision for me, but I didn't want to go there. So I'm going to come as I am, and you have to accept who I am because it's me. I'm going to give you guys some real inside, this is like my core. Now I'm going to be really open.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Catch Up Podcast. Super excited for this one. We got a very, very special guest today. But before we get into it, I got to introduce myself and my host today. We got Blake the Champ over here and
Jay Smooth, a.k.a. Jared Smith.
There we go. My brother on a mission. Let's go. Today we want to give a big shout out to Crocs for powering these episodes. We got so much love for you guys and we love meeting all of our special guests and hearing their stories. So big shout out to you, Crocs. And then of course, as you can hear, as always, we are crispy clear. Big shout out to Ro for the hot equipment. We appreciate you guys as well. Thank you, Rode. Cool. Today, we got a very special guest on the show. She is also a friend of mine. I'm lucky and blessed to call her a friend. She is not only a professional actress, she's also a professional model. She's a content creator, digital creator, very powerful mind, and also she's an ambassador of Virgin Active as well, and many more brands as well. So, without any further ado, I introduce to you, Emily Rose, baby!
Yeah.
Let's go, Ems.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. You deserve your flowers. If we had flowers, throw the petals on you.
3D effects, 4D or whatever.
Yeah, with post-production, throw it in there. How's things? How's life? How are you?
So good. Especially after that intro. Nah, I feel hyped.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go.
No,
so lekker to have you here with us. Thank you for making the time. You know, we're looking forward to your story and what you share. We love what you do. Honestly, I always say, we look at influencers online and it's easy to have an opinion, you know. You don't know them personally. Some of them you do know personally. And I will say this is you somebody that I love to see win because I know you're one of the best people that I know. One of the most genuine souls that I know. So it's lekker to see you successful. It's lekker to see you shining, you know. So thank you for being here, man.
I love to see you win as well.
Win-win. Inside joke. There'll be plenty of those on the episode. Sorry, guys. We apologize in advance. Cool.
No,
but let's jump into it for the people at home so that they can know what I know, you know. Emily, first things first. Where did it start for you? Like, at what age did you go, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is the dream. This is what I want to pursue.
I know that. So my main passion is acting. And with that, it's to entertain and then to educate is what acting kind of is. So I've had that feeling, I swear, since I was so small. Since growing up, I obviously watching many movies and whatever. And I was left with a feeling of, I also want to make people feel like this, you know, like I leave them maybe the cinema and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like, I don't want to go back to reality. And then I always thought like, I want to make people feel that way as well. Like, would I be able to? And I remember that feeling since like childhood, very young age, maybe around even like 7, 8, because and before then I started modeling already as a very young girl. And yeah, I remember looking in the U magazines at the back, the celebrities. I want to do that. Like,
I remember that.
Like, that was so fun. We wouldn't buy them, but I'll just look.
Or the Skinner as well.
It was so good, eh? Good times. So, yeah. So from a young age, I had that seed of like wanting to just be out there a little bit more and not your conventional job necessarily. Like I never felt
that vibes.
9 to 5 desk.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Even though I'm slightly got into that this year, as we do need to, grow up a little bit. But the passion and the dream of that is still there since back then. So sometimes I'm like, whoa, I'm really pushing this passion since birth. But
I mean, where did you, because you spoke about childhood, where did you grow up? Is it in Cape Town? What was it like growing up for you?
So, yeah, I grew up in Cape Town in Balha. My family didn't move around a lot, but that was where I had most of my childhood. And I actually, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just a little bit of hood, very neat, just a little bit of hood. And like, I remember specifically, I feel like I was maybe the last generation, 1997, where we were still playing outside, talking the houses.
Sure.
All the kids would come out when it's, after school, whatever. There's a park in the center. We all joined. And I was the smallest one with the big kids, and I was just floating with them. And it was just so fun. Like, I have great childhood memories of just, nostalgic how it used to be in the 90s, which is so crazy, you know.
It's true.
So yeah, I grew up in Belhar, and then with primary schools, I was hopping around, but always in Cape Town.
Why is that? If I may ask, the hopping around.
I think so. With Belhar, I was in Erica Primary School, which is there, and then I think since we moved to this side, which is more the northern suburbs, Plattekloof side, I went to Walgemoed, and that was just just safety wise, we just thought let's move out of Belhar for a little bit, and then my father was an educator at the time, or still is, and he then went to teach in Blauberg side at a high school, which meant I just got to go to the primary school, you know, a connection like that.
On the way.
Nepo baby vibes.
But that can't be easy, like moving from school to school, having to make new friends all the time.
No, I loved it.
You loved it?
I loved it because now I look back and I have friends all over in a sense.
But at the time when it was happening, still loved it.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. With making friends, not to be funny. Or
No,
anything,
that's cool.
No, that's cool. Everyone's different. It's your journey, you know.
Yeah.
I can relate to that though. I don't think I've ever had a problem making friends or meeting new people. We used to go. My mother worked in Mykonos in Saldanha, actually, to be technical. She worked in Saldanha Bay, and we would go to Mykonos like almost every weekend for like a period of the year. But it was when nobody was there. It was the quiet season. So there were only like a few people there, you know. It's like literally there's like 3 other children there, maybe if you're lucky. So for me, it was like my routine to go and make friends because that's all I could do. You in Mykonos, after a while, the games get boring. You can only swim in that hot pool so many times. Your skin starts getting dry. So after a while, I was just like, this is the routine. I go introduce myself. What's your name? And then a few hours later, you're playing hide and seek in Mykonos.
Yeah.
That's the vibes. I like what you said earlier on, and I want to touch on this because I was driving through the wood in the week last week. We go on the school tour all the time, you know, so we go into sometimes the proper communities and so on. The flats, we go squatter camps, wherever it is. We're driving through the community, and I'm looking at all these kids outside and they're playing. And I'm thinking to myself, we work so hard in life to make money, become successful, find our peace, do our thing. But if I'm looking at the look on their faces and how happy they are, poor people or people who maybe don't have a lot think that they don't have a lot, but they're actually so rich in the fact that you can now look back and say your best memories come from playing talkie, being outside. But then if you go to, like, let's say the suburbs, for example, it's very seldom you see people outside chatting to each other, that sense of community, you know. So I just wanted to highlight that is, when you said it had a little bit of wood, it's almost like the perfect recipe. To come from the struggle for me, I wouldn't want it any other way. That is actually what built my character, and to be grateful for everything that I have today in my life. How would you know the difference between the two if you didn't have both? So that was really cool. I just wanted to pinpoint that.
Yeah. No, just
And I know you said when you were growing up you started modeling. What age was that?
that was around 4 years old, because my mother worked at Die Burger for a few years, and then
That's a newspaper, correct?
Yes, the newspaper. And then I think one of the journalists asked if they can use me because I would go sometimes to my mom to her work, and they just needed me for like a catalog of something. So took pictures of me, and my mom just put me in an agency in that time, and then from there.
And from that age, you loved it, and because we know that the modeling life, because I also did it from a young age. My mom came second in Miss Africa in 1980, so she put us into modeling as young kids. My sister modeled for Boss and stuff like that. So I know what that is like. And there were times where I would sit in the casting in line waiting for 3-4 hours.
Dude,
you're a young kid. My hair's gelled. My mom's brushed my hair. I'm 10 years old. Yeah, there's a pressure that comes with it. There's an anxiety that comes with it for me. I don't know if you experienced the same thing.
Yeah, I think since there was a journey now that I've had, more now I can just release.
Yeah.
I go, I do my best, and then I'll just release. And if I get that call back, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. But there are times, I think in the beginning, I was just having fun also. Maybe didn't fully grasp what was happening, but I enjoyed being in front of the camera. I enjoyed it. I didn't ever feel necessarily pressured also, because I wanted to be there, wanted to be at all the places. And I just had a good time. I genuinely enjoyed it, but there was a pressure sometimes because I don't want to go into it too much, but like with my hair, I never used to really love my natural and curly hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to love having my hair straightened. So sometimes on maybe a Sunday night, we would straighten my hair for 2 hours, and then in the morning on Monday have a casting. I'm like, oh, like that made me feel a little bit of like pressure and having to have the hair, and I didn't feel fully comfortable. So that was my thing, is that uncomfortable like feeling with myself in a sense from a young age, which was crazy. But
I have to ask you about that though, because your hair is actually what they look for. I did a lot of TV commercials, you know, so, and you know, in TVC, they're looking for a look. So your hair is the people who get picked first. Your look is what gets picked first. So where did that feeling come from? That you yourself didn't like your hair, but on the flip side of the fence, you have the look.
I always needed the curls. Like everyone always needed it, like for that industry. I'm saying, but I think I don't know where that feeling came from. Maybe seeing the other girls in my school, or just probably the media as well. There wasn't a lot of curly girls and curly hair women out there that was pushed on the media back in the day. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember even at castings, I was one of the few with curly hair. Now I'll go to a room and it's lines of girls from all around the world coming to Cape Town for season with curly hair. So the pool has definitely broadened, which is amazing as well.
Yeah.
Always room for everyone, but back then wasn't many, so I just felt like I stood out a little bit too much. But little did I know it was my superpower.
Yeah,
like that's
But you are right, actually, there was a season, because I remember when we were in high school, even some of the boys were GHing their hair to make it straight. You know,
100%.
there was, for real, there was a season where everybody's hair was straight. That was just the look now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now this is definitely the time of the curls, for sure. Like we're going to the barber. I'm not lying. We're sitting there, and like 8 high school boys will come in, and they all get the exact same haircut.
Yeah.
They all got the same hairstyle. Curls on top, taper fade, done, sorted.
Absolutely. Even my nephew.
Got you.
Yeah.
So now I want to fast forward a little bit. Let's go. Emily's young, doing castings, doing photo shoots, getting into the modeling. You're loving it. You're excited. It's where you want to be. Now you fast forward high school years. It's time to leave high school. What decisions do you make? Your father was an educator. My father was a school principal. My mother was a teacher as well. We know the pressure that comes from it.
That's even more. Okay.
What happens then to that high school Emily? What's going through your head? What's next? What are you thinking?
I was so nervous of leaving. You know that comfort of where you're on top somewhere, like on the pyramid thingy. Now back to down, back to the beginning. Oh, I was like, oh gosh, like I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Really wasn't hyped, because I ended up going to Stellenbosch University. And looking back now, that was the best decision for me. 100%. Love the memories I have. But I didn't want to go there. Again, that thing of everyone's going to UCT, everyone's going there. I didn't know. I was like, oh, I really want to go there. Like, studies just felt daunting to me because of Afrikaans and all of that.
Yeah.
But I needed it. Anyway, so going there, I knew exactly we are studying drama, theater. That is the vision, 100%. I didn't have a backup plan necessarily, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, I was very nervous going into that. Like when I was a child, going to the different schools, no. Going to uni, I was like, oh, damn, like this is fresh now, because none of my homies are going to Stellies necessarily. So that was a fresh page that I had to turn. But looking back, was the best time.
But you said something interesting now, because you said that going there was uncomfortable, but you also mentioned that you needed it. Explain that. So it's like you went into a situation that was awkward, but looking back, it was so needed. So what did that season of your life give you now that's helping you move forward and become the person that you are becoming?
Sure. I think, in uni, it was, like I said, that uncomfort that just, I put myself in there and I had to grow. And I flourished so much because it was a place where no one necessarily knew me. So I'm going to come as I am, and you have to accept who I am because it's me. And there's no facade, or you haven't, grow up with me or nothing like that. So just coming as I am, and then seeing who I sort of attract, and those who will be my people. And then when I was there, I just loved also the freedom, because I was away from home, because I stayed there for my 4 years. And that feeling of just being able to grow, learn, and just have that, I don't know,
Maybe
I could just make my own decisions over there.
Your
So
independence.
cool.
Because that's independence at a young age. To go from high school to go live by yourself. You spend your whole life with your parents. under their rules.
True.
Now you're studying at university and you're living by yourself. You must sort yourself out with food, and you're on your own
Exactly.
clock and so on.
Yeah.
And that can also be unhealthy because
True.
you can make decisions. We know Stellenbosch is
Yeah.
the party
Yeah.
capital. Everyone's having a good time there. So you really need to find discipline within yourself
100%,
to keep the balance, because otherwise that 4 years of studies could turn into 8 years of studies,
Exactly.
the same degree.
Or zero.
Or zero, yeah. And I was, because I just want to say this, when it comes to like acting, I think a lot of people, the average person I'm saying now, the idea that we have of someone going to act is very different to what you actually experience.
Yeah.
Because I also went for some acting classes and things like that. And the things that they make you do
Yeah.
is
Sure.
wild. Like you, honestly,
Yo.
a lot of people would call it quits. Would be like, this is not what I thought it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm out, peace, I don't need to do this.
Yes.
Because acting is fun if you enjoy it and you're
Yes.
confident and all. But the level of acting when you go studying it, when you study is different. Can you
So
give us
true.
some of the things that were very uncomfortable for you when you studied acting?
Yo, listen, studying drama is definitely a wild run. Like, it's so much fun, and that's also what, like, to answer your previous question, is what helped me in today's life. Like, I'm so comfortable in who I am because of that. My different classes, you'll come to class, you maybe don't know everyone, maybe in the first year, for example. There's improv class, we had movement, like all these different classes. And it was so crazy because you come then, you have to leave it all on the floor, you know what I mean? Like with improv and these different classes, you just had to, it was the fundamentals of acting. So we had to sort of use our bodies to create different, like one time we had to bring an object to class. Say you want to bring a book. So in your body and in your movement, you had to create the book. So I leave Emily and I become this object. And how can I kind of portray it in my body? Bring a shoe, you kind of need to put yourself, and now I need to be the lace.
Yeah.
Looking so funny. I'm tuning in. But
Improv
yeah, you have
class.
to really become the
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
And it was so cool to transform, release your who you are in a sense, and then just be. And then there was times you walk around the class, the teacher would say, walk around, or the lecturer, I mean, walk around and then greet everyone, slowly feel where there's a pain. So say it's in your shoulder, now lean into it. So you'll lean into it. And then she says, more dramatic, and then you go. And as you are doing that, you kind of, I don't know how to explain, but it evolves into you walking as this new creature that doesn't even exist. And that in yourself, you created now a character out of your own inspiration in your own mind, and something that was felt by you. So this shoulder now how does this person speak? And I'm like, what? I created a new kind of character.
But here's the scary thing, though. Sorry to cut you. Here's the scary thing. If we look at, I'm just going to use him as an example, Heath Ledger, who acted as the Joker.
Method acting.
Sure.
People don't realize how scary acting can be because you become the character.
Yeah.
And how do you detach? Now, you've acted as a shoelace, for example, for 6 months. That becomes normal.
Yeah.
Now you have to detach from that. What is that like?
Yeah, I think it's just about the grounding of after the call scene. How do you can take your time, kind of get out of it, but it is a discipline that you need to remain grounded in yourself. Remind yourself of you, perhaps have a routine for after they call cut. You know, slowly get out of it. But when you go into your trailer, when you go home, whatever, get back to who you are, and slowly, like every day, work on getting out of it. Take off the makeup, take off the and release and leave the outfit and the costume and the everything there. It's always nice. You come home and you do your homework with your character. How can I do better tomorrow?
Yeah.
But it's always, you do have to keep them separate. Otherwise, it could be a dark.
I mean, is there like a practical, like just give us one practical thing? I know you said take off the makeup, but is there another practical thing someone could do that's watching, that's just starting their acting career, that could help them detach from the character they're learning?
I think, with that, I would say it's just your warm down. It's your releasing. So the same thing when you're working out, you warm up, and at the end, you warm down. So just cool. So what I used to do was, after a theater show, we were all excited and stunned, and you still feel like you're that person because everyone's hyping you around.
Yeah.
But when you go, and like I said, you take off your makeup, and then I would just release, do some breathing, and then looking in the mirror, finding who I am again. It sounds very all in the air, but truly looking in the mirror, just, I also always used to thank myself for putting myself out there.
That's cool.
And for really, delving into the character. But by me thanking Emily, it's bringing Emily out.
That's
Don't
cool.
want to sound too
No,
airy-fairy,
it
but
makes
you know
sense.
what I mean?
That's
Makes
cool.
sense. But I think there's such a powerful message there. We speak about this at the schools a lot. You don't have to be an actor to become a character.
100%.
Because we know that in this world we're living in, people are born into circumstances, they go through stuff, and because of that, they become someone they're not to survive. They put masks on.
Yes.
They put makeup on.
Yeah.
They alter their bodies. They create profiles on social media that isn't them. Filter, edit, crop. And unfortunately, they end up staying like that. What's that quote I used to say? You were born to be the main character in your own movie, yet you're playing an extra in someone else's.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the scary part, that a lot of people are walking around someone they're not.
Yeah, putting like you said now, putting the survival mask on, but then forgetting to take it off because you have to wear it so often. Now you forget to take it off, and then that actually becomes you. That's your character. Like the story of a bully.
Yeah.
It's very easy for a bully to become a bully because he was bullied or she was bullied somewhere else first. Because you wear that mask for so long, then it actually becomes you afterwards.
True.
And I like what you said though. Honestly, I think that's so powerful. Very few people sit down, look at themselves in the mirror and ask for honesty. Very few people look at themselves or even go, thank you for that. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being brave enough. Very few people do that. Some people are even awkward by the idea of it. But it's such a powerful thing because who else must you thank? Yes, 100% the Creator, God, all of that. I understand for sure. We live like that for sure. But at the end of the day, you must learn to give yourself a pat on the back for getting yourself through things because 90% of success is just showing up. The other 10% is what you do when you get there. You can't give that 10% if you don't try.
No.
And a lot of people aren't trying. A lot of people have so many dreams and they're just like sitting with it. They might even go rest with it one day because they just don't want to give themselves a chance to try. So after you do give yourself a chance to try, even if the outcome is not what you thought it's going to be, still tell yourself, well done, man. Well done for even just trying. That's 90%. There. I'm already successful. I showed up. That's enough.
True. And with that, chatting to yourself, that for me, I learned now in the last 3 years for myself. It's when I chat to myself, I'm truly never alone. Sometimes I feel creepy because I'm laughing at what just happened. And it's like I'm having this internal little conversation here. And it's fun, man. Like it's really fun. And it feels like you are getting to know you and not just floating in life. And with that, you can talk to yourself in making decisions, in just deciding even the simplest thing of what to wear. Okay, Emily, what do you feel like wearing, girl? You know what I mean? Not having to speak it out literally, but in your head, you just, So sometimes when you trip or you fail at something, you can just be like, girl, that was actually very funny. But let's move. But
it is so powerful though. It's so powerful because I do that and I know Blake does it.
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
be walking around the house talking to myself. My wife says, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to myself.
me.
Because internal dialogue is so vital for mental health.
Yes.
Weighing up options, getting clarity on situations. So it is.
Speaks the truth.
But we do know that 80% of the world are walking around with unhealthy internal dialogue.
Yeah.
You speak about this a lot, Blake.
Yeah. Negative self-talk for me was my greatest enemy.
Yeah.
For a long time. And you don't even, you sometimes don't even realize that you have it. That it's so heavy on you. When COVID time hit and I was alone in my apartment, that's the first. I'm not a brother that's alone. I got a lot of people in my life all the time. There's always something happening. Also, that was the first time in my adulthood that I was now alone, forced to be alone by myself for a long period of time. It was probably about 3 weeks, to be honest. That felt like 10 years for me. And in that time, I realized how unhealthy I talk to myself, how hard I am on myself about things. And then in that time, I learned to develop certain habits or counters for when I speak too badly to myself in a way. Then I also must say, okay, but you don't have to say it like that.
Yeah.
I would lighten the conversation lekker. Then I would incorporate now having a bit of a laugh. I would get so upset that I would think, this is just funny, man. I have to laugh now. What else must I do? I can't get more upset than I already am. I'm going to laugh this one off. And slowly it started changing. I started developing a healthier self-talk. And in that time, I feel like I became my best friend. I became my own best friend. It's cool to be alone. Like now,
So key.
there's so much people that hate being alone. They dread it. They don't want to be alone at all. I'm the type of person I can be in company for as long as I need to be. And if I must be alone, I can be alone for as long
Yeah.
as I need to be. I'm happy with both. And a lot of people don't have that gift. I wish more people had that gift
Yeah.
to spend time by yourself and be super happy with what's going on here and what you're busy with.
It's a great medication
Yeah.
Yeah.
to sit by yourself, be still, meditate, spend time with yourself, talk to yourself. It grounds you. It makes you feel good. And I remember this quote that I came up with when we were in Australia in 2019. You're either going to speak yourself out of your dreams or speak yourself into your dreams.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So that the way you speak to yourself will determine if you go forward or backwards.
True.
It's key.
I feel also like people must stop this way. They don't want to admit that they're a cool person. They don't want to admit that themselves, like your person, who you are. You must admit to yourself that I'm a cool
You have
person.
it.
I'm a lekker person, man. The
Hype
who I
yourself.
am, what I am. Like you must give yourself that credit.
Yes.
It's not boasting or bragging or whatever. Like it's just giving yourself credit that who you are, as you are uniquely made. You are a cool person by yourself on your
Yeah.
own, and then you start learning more. There's so much good in you that you don't even know about because you're keeping it suppressed all the time, or you're not giving it a chance to shine or to show other people because you're worried about what other people will think. Let's be honest, that's actually what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You're too concerned with the opinion of others. That's why you're hiding
And
all of it.
perceived. How will
Yeah.
be perceived? Yeah.
But if you spend more time with yourself, your opinion becomes the number one. You listen to that opinion first
Yeah.
before others. And that's what I love about what you said. You know, it's at the end of the day, you're not gonna win all the time. You're gonna make your mistakes. And if you can sit down and say, Emily, that was actually funny.
That was
And have a
actually-
good
yeah.
laugh. That's lekker, that's healthy.
Exactly.
I love
Good.
it.
Yeah.
Positive.
And from that, I feel like where I got into the talking to myself and all of that was working a little bit more with my inner child. I don't know if you guys ever tried shadow working
Yep.
or inner child working.
Yeah.
I was blessed with that.
Wow, so healing and just so profound in the sense that that's kind of what makes life so, I don't know, more fulfilling. Like you feel like you are truly living with intention. Because I did a lot of that. I had a mentor after I did some solo traveling and things. And that's where I feel like my little frontal lobe was developing. And I was like, okay, you know what? I have questions. I
Yeah.
want to kind of dig in here and see where, So like, for example, I can find my inner self. If I close my eyes, there's a certain way I can see my 12-year-old self,
Yeah.
but specifically, even in Belhar, in the tree house, like I can see her in a specific place. So sometimes I feel myself feeling maybe overwhelmed with, be it social media. I'll quickly be like, I'm not feeling overwhelmed. Me as Emily, the present one. So maybe it's her inside. So
Sure.
I'm going to give you guys some real insight, This is like my
Love
core
it.
now. I'm going to be really open.
Please
So
do
there was
it.
this one day I was like journaling in the morning and I was journaling, but I got distracted with my phone. There we go. There I'm scrolling on Instagram. And after a while, I felt so heavy and I felt so bad about myself. I thought, where did this come from? I was in hyped. I'm here journaling. It's early. I had my glass of water on the side. I was feeling so good, but I went on social media and I was like, why did I feel so meh afterwards? I felt so weird because I'm seeing everyone's doing well. Everyone's beautiful. Like I will always support people. But why do I now feel so down? Whoa. Okay, so I put it down. I'm just like, okay, let me quickly reflect here. And as I'm writing down, I feel myself really bubbling up from nowhere, like a deep cry is wanting to come. I thought, what? Out of nowhere. I had a great morning. I go to my room, I close the door, and I'm sitting on the edge, and I was like, you know what, let me quickly go check in here with Miss Emmy. And I close my eyes, and I see her sitting on the stoop, like this. And I sit next to her, and I say, Emily, what's up? She's like, you haven't said thank you to me yet. You keep asking me to do more, but you didn't say thank you for how much we've done already.
Yo.
I was
Sure.
like, oh my gosh. And after that, I just bawled. I said, I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. You are safe. Because that's also a prayer that they
Safe,
say
yeah.
in the Native Americans. That's a prayer. It's called a home. There's a name for it, but it's
Yes.
a prayer. So I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. And yeah, something like that. So I did that to her and she said, okay, that's all I needed. And I went a little bit more into that, but I realized that every time I feel some type of way about maybe I leave an audition, I feel like, oh, I didn't do it. And I feel so worked up. And I'm like, whoa, I feel fine. But inside, my younger self just needs me to acknowledge her that we've done that. It was a lot for her to pull up her
Yeah.
big girl socks.
Yeah,
For sure.
Like my
Powerful
international-
stuff, eh?
Yeah. Like when I felt so anxious doing my solo traveling. I did like a month and I hopped to like 6 different countries alone. It was my first time traveling as a female. It was tough. And I found myself on the steps sometimes, and I was like, in the morning in London, ready to move on with my day. Everything's planned. I have my maps, but I can't get up. And then I had to tune in and just say, we got this. You're grown. You can do this. It's scary, but let's go. And just talking to my younger self has helped me in so many ways just to accept who I am, be it with my flaws, with my thighs, for example. I can be like, I won't talk to a younger child saying, girl, you're not looking good. I won't tell that to a child.
Yeah.
So
That's
why
it.
will I tell that to me? Because I'm still that little girl.
That's
I'm
it.
that
Powerful.
same person there.
That's it.
Can I just... And a round of applause. Honestly, I've been through workshops before where they focused on the inner child, but the way that you put it today for me just blew my mind, because how many of us forget about our inner child? How many of us we grow so old in life? Well, not that we old, but I'm saying as you grow older, you go into so many new seasons that you just completely forget about.
Yeah.
You were once a kid. You were once a kid with such a big heart, big imagination. You only ever wanted the best for other people. When you were a child, I can't remember being bitter towards anybody, to be honest. My thing was I was just excited for everything. I'm just happy to be here. I'm present. And you forget about that part of you, but it's still there. Just because you're older, it doesn't mean it's gone. It's still there.
Still there.
Oh, that's so powerful. Thank you, Emily. I never heard anybody say it like that before, you know. And I actually now I'm excited to do the same thing. I
So exciting.
I wanna check it out. You know, I wanna make the younger version of me proud. That kid.
Yes.
Because to be honest, I have a lot to thank him for. All the dreams that I had when I was a child, I was too young to comprehend what it would turn into. There was no way I could have planned it. There was no possible way. But I did all this dancing stuff. I was always wanting to be on camera. Either I had a camera in my hand or I was the one on camera. Everything I ever did from when I was 4 years old is now my professional career. So I have a lot
Look
to
how big
thank
he's
him for.
came. Yeah.
Crazy.
He made it. So you can just go thank yourself and be the bigger person, the adult that younger kid needed.
Yep.
You are that person now. So how dope is that, man? Like, that is so cool.
And that powerful punchline that you had where you said, I wouldn't talk to a younger kid like
Yes.
that.
That's it.
That
Key.
was that for me was the closing punchline. Like, honestly, when you speak to yourself negatively, think about you talking to your younger self or to a kid. You probably wouldn't have the same
Wouldn't do that,
attitude or
yeah.
the same approach to that.
Even think about this. Think about this. Would you expose your 12-year-old self to some of the things we expose ourselves to at this age?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into too much detail, but
Think I'm gonna- this is where I get up. No?
no, but I'm saying, think about it. We're exposing ourselves to a lot of things. We're putting ourselves in situations that we wouldn't put our 12-year-old self in, but our 12-year-old self is still there. That's just one thing. The second thing is, for me, the biggest change that came in my life was actually asking my 12-year-old self for forgiveness for what I put him through. Because I still made choices. Even though I was 12, 13, 14, I did a lot of things in my life that I put my younger self through that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
But he still carried me through that. But I had to ask him for forgiveness. And that was a big moment. I've actually got a picture in my office of myself when I was 6. Little blonde head kid, missing tooth. And I actually got quite emotional when I looked at it and I realized, bro, you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot.
you're
And I'm
still a good
sorry.
person,
And I'm
man.
sorry for what I put you through.
Yeah.
I'm taking away so much from this episode. Like, I'm literally picturing myself going to look for a picture of my younger self
Yes.
and having it up and having more conversations. Just because I definitely should also ask for forgiveness, for sure. I think we all should. We all have our things that we've done, but you don't ever do it. And you can't live life with regret. It's not possible.
No.
But you can ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
You can understand that you went astray. You can understand that you made a mistake. And by asking for forgiveness, you're saying, check here, I'm not ignoring the fact that I put you through that.
Yeah.
I'm actually acknowledging that I did. But now I'm wiser. I needed to go through that to understand better. So we can be better. So I can do it better. So we can keep growing and following this dream.
No, seriously.
Yeah, powerful. So
It's huge, yeah.
I take
It
us
is huge.
I take us to you at Stellenbosch now. You finished your
Taking it
4 years. Yeah, we go timeline.
got
I wanna
deep, eh?
I wanna
Guys,
check.
But that's
were-
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love it.
Where's the moment now? It's the 4 years is done. You studied, you finished your studies at Stellenbosch. Now it's time to step into the real world. You know, and we know that that moment for all of us, it's like, okay, now I need to
Adult.
make money. I must survive. It's what happens for Emily after that? Because you said in the beginning, you said the 9 to 5 was never your vibe. And
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Jared can relate to that as well. And no discredit to anyone who's doing the
for real.
9 to 5.
Shout out to
Do
you,
your
actually.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to
that's
you.
it.
Mad love and respect. But for you, what decision do you make then? How do you think? Where do you go after that? You finish, you're ready for the world. What happens next?
Yeah. So, during that time, I wasn't necessarily scared or anything. I was just like, let's go. I'm ready. Because my 4th year, when I did my honors, I was like, oh, yeah. And like, oh, it was a drag for me. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I thought just like,
Finish line.
let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. So I was so excited to just go out there, act, whatever I need to do. Yeah, but I remember that after that, it was COVID. However, still in that time, I was quite excited. I had my creative juices were flowing hard with everything. So I was just sort of found ways to kind of entertain myself. I was doing at-home shoots, which was cool, which got me campaigns even. I remember doing something in lockdown with Superbalist, like
Nice.
a home shoot,
Yep.
and I was like, it was cool. And I even made my own workout program, a 21-day. At the time, I thought it would be 21 days. I made a 21-day challenge, and then we made it into 2-week challenge, a fitness challenge. Got a few girls of Instagram. It was so fun. Like I made a whole thing. After that, obviously, it took longer. And from there, I was just playing more with creating content. I would practice some monologues and then film it. I don't know. I just had a good time doing self-tapes and things at home. So I continuously practiced honing my instrument of acting and things like that. But it was tough. There were some jobs that I had to not take because of COVID and all of that. And being back I just felt like I'm held back from my prime moment of getting my foot into acting, which was very difficult I had my agency in my 4th year already, but I had to now prove myself, but I'm not able to necessarily audition and go out and actually be on set and things like that. So that was difficult. But I think then with that, so acting, social media and creating content kind of overlapped the acting a little bit. Just because that was kind of being my bread and butter, which was my income, and that was picking up more for me because in that time I just was home to create, and I was still younger at that time, so I was just so open with everything. I was sharing a lot. I was like going for it. So
And that
just gradually went, yeah.
it fitted. I don't know cut your word there, but it fitted because of the casting. So people understand. We all went through a season of doing self tapes. You couldn't go to castings anymore, so you had to film yourself at home. And a lot of us didn't enjoy that. That's actually where I stopped with TV commercials and things like that. Because I like to walk into a room and act for people and put me on the spot. That's lekker.
Yes.
But I don't want to set my own cameras up and then film myself and then watch
And
it.
retake
exactly.
because you want to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you lost your spark. I don't know. Yeah,
That's the energy
difficult.
exchange also. no?
Each
For
take
us,
you
no,
lose your
we-
energy. Yeah.
we love energy, the exchange of
True.
it, being tested and challenged on the spot. So it was the self-tape season, which made sense to do content in, to do your own content at home, build your online
Yeah.
presence. And now the new wave of models and TV commercials and things like that is that the agencies are actually looking at your social media profile. They
Yeah.
prefer that you have numbers, so you actually get
True.
picked for more casting. So it worked
True.
out lekker.
Yeah.
And then after you got into that, in terms of the acting now, what was the first big job? What was your... Run us through that.
Sure. So I always did maybe featured films here and there. I did like a few smaller roles. But I think what was the real... there are a few, but some good moments. There was a show I did that was really fun for me. It was called Project Dinner. It was on CakeNet. And it was a smaller role, but it was nice for me to be there. I really enjoyed it because it was a role where I wasn't always going to be just a pretty face. Sometimes I was typecast a little bit, which is just kind of like they see how you look and they just want to push you for those roles. all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And since I did drama and stellies and I was doing theater, I want to get ugly. Like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, give me the raw. So this one was fun because I got to cry. Lost my husband, looking for him. It was fun. I enjoyed that. So that was a really good role for me. And then obviously, featuring more. But then I had this cool opportunity. It wasn't necessarily acting, but it was we shot for like a month. I did a reality show.
Yeah.
It was called Overlander, and we were like 6 girls, and we had to go and sort of survive in the wild.
Oh, wow.
In the Makwaland. So we did like the 4x4 route tour. And that was cool. Like they were filming all the time. It was really cool to just be constant, like in that space of filming. And my Emily had to be the character, which was cool as well.
That's
So I
cool.
enjoyed that.
So you played yourself basically.
Yeah,
You
that
didn't have to pretend to be somebody else. And they'd snatch you away here and there while the experience is happening to ask you to check
Yes.
in with you.
Loved
and
it.
that's
That was
mad. And you were camping obviously. Now if you were 4x4ing and
Yeah, it
you're
was
out
a
in the wild.
real camping. As in, we would trek with the 4x4s. Long, we're driving for 6 hours and maybe the sun is going down. So we're just going to have to stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have to put our tents up ourselves. Like these girls with our nails done, we're having to set up our tent, put it down again. Like, oh, it was a lot. Early mornings, late nights, but it was so fun. No bathrooms,
Yeah.
nothing.
I
But it
love-
was fun.
I love it. I love that. I
Use
love
the river.
your adventurous
the
nature.
whole-
The whole.
Just dig a hole.
The whole, we're taking it way back.
Okay, let's keep it up.
But that's it. I love it. I love your adventurous nature. Is you're not like in your mind. You're not quitting before you try it. You're not like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't sound like I'm not doing that. You're like, okay, I'm here. I'm present. This is the experience. This is what it comes with. Let me take the whole package. Let me learn this thing and do this thing and run this
let's
race.
not see it. Because
There
I
we
just
go.
want to live. I just want to live and try new things. Because I think it comes again to that uncomfort, putting yourself in that uncomfort zone and just growing. Because that happened when going to uni, doing the solo traveling, and then this sort of challenge. It was, I always put myself in because I know the outcome has to be great, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just come out with something new.
But that's the problem, though. Sorry, I think you've said this before.
Yeah.
And it's something I read this morning in the book I'm reading. It's about valuing the process more than the outcome.
Yeah.
I think so often
Yeah.
we put so much value on the outcome instead of the process. And then when we get the outcome, we're disappointed because it's like, for the moment, it feels lekker.
Yes.
And then we're like, okay, is that all
Sure.
it was?
Yeah.
So we've got to fall in love with the process, value that the most. Then life stays exciting. We got to grow daily.
Yeah.
Fall in love with that.
The
'Cause
journey, for sure.
There is no destination.
No.
That's an illusion. We create the illusion of destination
Yeah.
for real. Like success, for example, pinpoint in your mind what that looks like. It looks like a destination because
Yeah.
you're seeing what it looks like as the finish line. But when you get there, it won't look the same or
'cause
feel the
now
same.
you want more also.
Exactly.
So-
There will be another destination. There will be another vision in your mind going forward. So it's actually the journey getting there that's the gift in all of it.
sure.
That's the blessing. And then
Yeah.
take us to how you make a success of your career in social media, because everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to be famous. Everyone wants to be known. But no one really knows what goes into it and how you develop a brand that stays healthy so that brands want to work with you, businesses want to work with you. Because you can be the loudest person on the internet.
Yeah.
That part's easy.
Yeah.
If you wanted to now,
Yeah.
you can pick your phone up and be the loudest person.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
True.
That doesn't mean businesses is going to want to work with you. What makes you successful? What do you love most about your brand? What do you focus on as your brand, Emily Rose Online, so that you can even be an ambassador for Virgin Active? I mean, that's not a joke. That's the biggest gym brand in the entire world. And you're one of the ambassadors. I also know that they don't work with a lot of people. They only
Yeah.
select, they're very picky with who they work with and so on. So tell us about your brand.
So I think what it is, because I also often ask myself that, because sometimes I'll look back and I'm going to be honest, I'll look and I'm like, hey, I'm not necessarily growing at a rapid speed, I'm never really trending necessarily or, going skyrocketing with views and followers and all of that. But there's a longevity that I would say I do have. And it's because I'll rather focus on quality over quantity at this time. And I know that in today's moment now with social media, you just need to create, pick up your phone and go. And which I do, but what I based it on when I started was just authenticity. So that I know forever, if I want to do this until I'm 60, I'm me. So there's never going to be a switch up heavily. There's never going to be a complete there's obviously a rebranding because I'm not the same Emily I was when I started. But now at the underlining is always to inspire and to sort of show a balance. So my content is kind of like lifestyle. I don't box myself to just fitness or just makeup. But I do have seasons of focusing on those certain things. I started with hair. Now you go on my page and it's more like a lifestyle, you see. But what the base is, it's just authenticity and telling my story. And then, for example, when I did the internal work, I just saw that there's meaning to everything in life. So if I'm sharing a what's in my bag, I want to share that a bag to a woman means something. This is how we walk around. This is carrying our stuff. It's not just this accessory, but it's something that makes us feel good, and it's holding all our things that we need. And if we are able to assist someone next to us with a tampon, yeah, I have you. It's sisterhood, and our bag really represents a lot for us as women. It's not just a bag. So when I share something of what's in my bag, I don't want it to sound just like that. I want to share a little bit more. Like, that's with everything I do. Working out, it's not just about look at my body, like I'm looking so good. No, I want to show you that with obviously genetics is different for everyone, and I can't necessarily talk about body positivity, but can't relate to a lady that's bigger build or smaller than me. You know what I mean? But I always want to share a bit of truth to it so that I also have my flaws, but this is how you can have a healthy lifestyle and balanced, you know.
Yes, I like that.
And appreciate what you have. It's
great.
not just about look at me with anything. I don't like that at all. Not the flashiness, but I also always appreciate everything. And with my audience, I'm raw. Like on my stories, I'll be a little bit more, just honest with things, you know. And what I also did in the beginning is I did accept a lot of jobs. I worked with Click, so I had a lot of brands under me that I'm making videos. I was pushing them out at a stage because I was one of their beauty brand. So with that, and Clicks, has a lot of different brands. So they sent me things and I had to try them all. But what it is that I would try and tell my audience about products that I really enjoyed. So you're not going to get I'm not necessarily going to just sell you anything.
I like that.
That's also not related to my brand. So I'll rather like turn it down, even though there was money, which happened recently. I turned a brand down that I would have actually loved to work with. But I can't, like, it's not resonating so well with me, you know? So that's why I would say I don't really fully always trend because I just need to be me. So that in the long run, I'm always there.
Yeah.
I'm always there if you want to see me.
You haven't
know what
been
I mean?
lost in the character.
Yeah.
I love that you said that though, honestly, because I appreciate that. A lot of people are false for the paycheck. They're willing to lie for the paycheck.
But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
seriously.
Of course, we got to survive out there. But I think it's more damaging to your brand to be false, take the paycheck, and you think you look quiet because you're making money, than to, in that process now, the people buy the stuff because you said they must buy it and it's a good product. You said this is a top quality product. They buy it and everybody gets a rash on the skin. I'm just saying, for example, what's more damaging? Because now everyone's going to know that you lied, that this product, it's going around, it comes out, it actually wasn't what you said it was. Then you look like a fool. But
Because
you
the next time I see a video and I don't even need to watch it because, I don't know if you really like it or did you get,
So-
there's no trust
there we go.
with the audience.
Stops translating to sales. And we were talking about this also, the whole thing about the influencer. I'm lucky I can speak on it because at the stage in my life, I was considered an influencer. And I realized for me, I also want that all the time. I want to stay authentic to my following. I want them to remember why they followed me. And when I say something on my page and you see my brand anywhere, I'm not lying to
I
you.
mean it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean it. I'm advertising it to you because for me, I think it's quite. I
Yeah.
genuinely think it works very well.
True.
So I respect that you said that and that you're not willing to sacrifice anything to cut corners. Keep it authentic because that is the long road. That's the longevity for your brand and that's how you keep building the quality. So thank you for the golden nuggets on that one. I'm going to ask you now, next question for me is, you've really built a great career for yourself and I feel like you're only getting started. You're really only warming up to everything.
Yeah.
The best is yet to come for you. It's a two-part question. Number one, what do you enjoy most about your professional career that you've chosen for yourself, the life that you have? What do you enjoy the most?
Sure. I often think of this because I'm like, in the moments where I'm overwhelmed in a day, I thought, you know what, girl? Having a good time, actually. Like, my days are unpredictable. I do, like I said, kind of have a 9-to-5 now. I'm managing a brand. We're Labal Balloon in Camp Space, so we do luxury flowers and balloons, which gave me a bit more stability. However, with my other careers, I just feel like I can always express myself through all of them, and they tie in together. So the acting and the content and the modeling, it's all ties in the same thing of performative. And with my content, I also like to always tell a story which goes to the acting. So if it's a perfume, I don't want to just say, here is the perfume. I want to tell the story about it. How does it make me feel? And creating that scene, it's just so fun, and just being, the days being unpredictable, also really cool, going with the flow. And it comes with a level of freedom as well.
Yeah.
To just, some days I'm more chilled than others and I can go to the beach on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. and other people are in traffic going home. Like, there's a difference. So that freedom is really cool, and being able to be exposed to brands and share me as a brand, that's so cool. Like, I love inspiring others. Like, that is just brings me so much meaning to me, and just being able to, even for my family, they're so proud of me. And even sometimes it's the smallest job, working with this thing, but it's so cool for people to see. And it's just making other people proud is what really drives me as well, and it's so cool.
I think you'll be perfect for the school tour. We do the best foot forward school tour with Crocs all the time. and we constantly on the go to different schools. I think you will be a great fit for the school tour, especially for the younger girls out there. You know, your story is an inspiration to many boys, girls, people all around the world. But I think that the world needs healthy role models,
Yeah.
and young girls look up to successful older women that are
Yeah.
doing it, that are living their dream, that are even brave enough to do it. You know, so I think you're a perfect fit. I hope you will join us in future on the school tour.
Absolutely.
I love it. And then my last question is, I want to know from you, after you've accomplished all of this now and you're living your dream, what's one thing at the moment that you consider your next goal or your next big dream? What are you trying to accomplish right now?
Yo. So obviously staying in the line of everything I do. I have my fishing rod everywhere. And whatever pulls, I give it my all. I take the opportunities even if I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I've been doing this year. But I think it really is to get in there with acting. I'm praying and I'm just allowing God's timing to just, I'm trusting in that will come for me. So first and foremost, my acting is always number one. It might not always look that way, but I'm always working on it behind the scenes, you know. And it is a difficult industry because it's so saturated. However, I'm that is my main dream at the moment, is to get a big like acting movie and maybe to travel for that, but also just always elevating in everything that I do. Content creation, working with more brands, bigger brands, traveling for work is also one of my main dreams, is to travel more. And yeah.
So basically, what you have going on now, you just want to 10x.
Next
You
level,
just want to grow what you've established what you needed to,
Yeah.
and now it's time to expand and to
Yeah.
grow. Last thing I want to ask, sorry, I know I said 2 questions, but you also an entrepreneur. For as long as I know you, you're very much into business. Like there was time where you were selling some product, some skincare and so on. I remember, and you would set up and you had your things set up. Like you're never one dimensional. You're not like, nah, I'm Emily on Instagram. There's no way I can go do that. You're like, nah, I'm involved everywhere. I'll do this,
Yeah.
I'll do that. And I know also with Robin as well, with Becky, you are an ambassador for the Beauty Lounge, and you guys have chatted before also. Do you see yourself in the future coming out with your own product, with your own something?
I always had those thoughts, especially in COVID. I was like, yeah, now's the time, girl. And I was like, oh, am I doing curly hair products? Am I doing clothing? I don't know, skincare, which I did try. He was talking. I had the brand called The It. And we started like our own serums, facial serums. It was all South African ingredients. It was actually really good, but it just died down a little bit.
Happens.
But yeah, with my own brand necessarily for now, I'm pausing on that. Pending, me and a homie are thinking of something, and we just want something that goes, something goes,
I like
that's
that.
it. You know, finding that little gap. So
Yeah.
we're still figuring it out, not going to lie, but it's in
You're
the back.
cooking something.
I love that.
Yeah, I
A lot, yeah.
want something.
A lot of the time when we have the idea, we think we must do it now. Just because we have the idea.
Yeah.
We need to rush this thing. Let's get it out.
Yes.
Come on, we have to make it happen. But sometimes God is just planting the seed now in your mind so
Yeah.
you can think about it enough.
Yeah.
So you can do your research authentically,
Yes.
organically. Just do
Yeah.
your research as you're going through the motions. And then, like you say, one day it's going to eat you. You and your homie, you're going to chill. You're going to go, this is that thing. This is
Yes,
it. This
I'm
is
waiting for it.
Yeah, because that's how people's
Allowing
going to receive it. Then
Yeah.
when you're selling it, everyone's going to go, this is it. This is that
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Got you. And then Jared's going to ask you the final question. We'd love to sit and chat to you all day. It's a lekker conversation. But we got the last one to lock it in.
Okay, cool. So if you could be any gibbet, what would you be and why?
Oh my word, guys. I don't know why I did not expect. I thought you're going to hit me deep. Sheesh, let me look at my little collection on my feet.
That's a big collection.
Thank you very much.
There's no more space there.
There's so
you,
many
Crux.
different
There's
gibbets
so
out
many.
there.
Yo.
If you can't think of one off the top of your head, would you create one?
Oh, there's so many. They all exist. Like, that's so cool about Crocs. They have one that's light up, that little fluffy flowers. Like, everything is out there already. Sure. You know what would be cute? Is a gibbet maybe with some lip gloss in that you can open and close, or a gibbet with a mirror in.
Honestly, I think
Or
they
is
have that, to be honest. Literally, I
Sure,
think I've seen it
Crux.
before. But if
Jeepers.
they don't have it, we're going to put in the word for you. That could be
Little
the
lip
Emily
gloss.
Rose product.
And how does that represent
Collab.
you, though?
Sure. I'm also a girly girl, girl's girl. I have your back. You need lip gloss. Wait a moment on my gibbet. So,
That's cool, though.
yeah, so I think
Looking
that
out
will
for your
just-
friends.
Yeah, I love makeup. I love girly things. I think that would be my
One thing I'm going to ask you, I know it's the end of the episode now, but we didn't touch on it. I actually wanted to ask you this. I completely forgot about it.
Oh, shoot.
You are in a relationship with Dylan Wenzel, who is one of my
I'm
brothers,
trying.
one of our best friends. We all know Dylan. We're the same circle of people. And I just wanted to ask you, because both of you have your own brands and you both have a strong brand. And just before we started this episode, we were saying some of the people, the guests that come on the show, they bring their partner with and they'll chill offset. Nah? And you were saying that you guys enjoy giving each other your own moments because you're still living your own professional career. And I think that's so healthy, because in a relationship, a romantic relationship, sometimes people can become clingy. And they want to go everywhere with their partner. And I said this to a friend the other day, I'm not going to mention names. I was like, I wouldn't take my fiance with me to work. I wouldn't take my partner with me to work because I need to be a certain person there.
Yeah.
And I must look after her all the time. And I want her to be comfortable. And it's just a crazy balance of me being two people at the same time. So I really respect that. So my question is, in this industry, how do you find your relationship adds value to what you do?
Oh, that's such a nice one. So, shout out for bringing
Shout
up.
out.
Because I never really talk about him out in publicly or whatever. Because we're not private necessarily, but we just keep it chill. Yeah. But with us, so like he said, in the same industry, and sometimes they can overlap. We have the same job. It's really cool actually, because that's also how we met on set. So keeping it a bit separate is so valuable in the sense that we can help each other and add on later on. But how it also helps us, because we get it. We both get it. We're both in the industry. He's also a professional model. So sometimes he can obviously be on set in another country. Bunch of, the scene is there. But I get it. And it's a job. It's a character. So I'm not going to feel jealous or in any type of way if he has to pose with a girl. Oh, I get it. Because I have to do it with a guy. Like with acting. Like we just understand one another in that space and we give it, because we also need to respect each other in that regard. And also what it is, we have our visions are coming together now. Sometimes I'm taking a clip of this. Yeah, he already has it. Just edge of that to me. Like we have the same vision and know how to help each other elevate content or elevate our look and things. So we really assist one another in that, and honest critique, and just help. He helps me film some of my content and vice versa. I help him shoot most of his things, by the way. Thank you. That's my work. But I think we have a lot of input in one another, choosing a song from the smallest things. We are literally next to each
really
other
cool.
editing. So
that's why I
just
wanted
get
to
the
ask you the
vision.
question, because I've seen you guys do it without pinpointing it or talking about it, and you guys will just quickly like, what do you think of that? And then quickly, I don't like that one, do that one, cool.
And
then
we
you carry on just like that. Like there's no argument, there's no like back and forth, or you don't get involved emotionally in what the criticism is. It's like we both get it, we both understand, we both like quality, we want to deliver. Boom, let's help each other.
True.
And I think that's such a gift that you guys have, because this industry is not easy. Sometimes it's one-sided. Sometimes one person is doing it and the other person's quiet in the background and they never get it, and that person's like, why don't you understand? And it's cool that you're both doing it and you're supportive of one another, and you'll travel around the world sometimes and then meet in the same country for a little bit, and that's cool. So big ups. Big shout out to Dylan. We're hoping to see you on the podcast soon. I think we'll get him on one of the next episodes.
Be cool too.
Dope. But Emily, I want to close off today and just say a big thank you to you. Thank you to your younger self as well. Thank you to 12-year-old Emily for being here as well. Thank you for bringing us your life journey, your story. Thank you for inspiring many. And we want to wish you all of the very best on your future journeys, experiences, adventures, whether you on the 4x4s, wherever you are. We just want to wish you well. Keep dreaming big. We support you from everywhere in the world. And we're looking forward to having you on the school tour with us in the future.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of such an amazing episode. We love that one. And to close off today, we want to make sure that we bring you guys the competition once again. So we got 3 vouchers here. 3 people can win a fresh pair of Crocs. All you have to do is just show love. Show love on the episode. Comment below. Share it on your stories. We'll be looking for you. The 3 most enthusiastic people, you'll win yourself a free pair of Crocs. Time to close off the show. Jay Smooth, take us away.
Guys, don't forget to share this. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss another episode. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Much love to Crocs, much love to Road. We'll see you guys all at the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.